Right. So picking up from where we stopped in the last training class, we stopped on, and I fill out first name and last name, and I encouraged everybody else to do the email and the IT. I think that was what I encouraged everyone else to do. And I can see that some people have tried that. Some people have even tried the select method for the drop downs. And so we're going to look into those ones further again today. So going back to just going to delete this one because we don't need it. So going back to our feature file, inquiry page.feature, we need to do email IT. We need to do email IT, right vegan option. So I'm going to do the email and the IT together because they are similar. And the reason why I said they are similar is because we are simply just filling in a value into them. So all I'm just going to do is just like before, I need to get my locator for the element I want to fill in the value for. Once I get a locator, I need to go into IntelliJ and then type in driver dot find element, paste the locator there, then specify the action that I want Chrome driver to perform on the field. So in this case, I want Chrome driver to type something into the field for me. I want it to fill in the field for me with a value that I'm going to specify or the value I'm going to give it. So how do I get the locator for the email field? I simply need to right click on inspect, then you see the HTML DOM open up here. And I need to click on the select an element in the page to inspect it icon, just as I'll just call it the select icon going forward. I need to click the select icon. Then I need to take my cursor to the email address field. And just a minute. So now that I've gotten the email address field elements, so this is it highlighted in blue here. And I think in the last class, we tried a couple of locators. We tried ID, we tried XPath, we tried name. So this time around, I want us to try by name again. So all I need to do is to go back to my, I need to go back to my web page to get a locator. And for the email address, you can see it's already highlighted in blue, like I said. And I can obviously get the name attributes. So you can see it as name equals this. It also has ID equals this. But in this case, I'm going to be picking up the name attribute because I want to use the find element locator by name. So all I need to do is to copy that. I just double clicked on it, copy it. And like I said, or like I always encourage you to do a Control F if you are using a Windows, Command F if you are using a Mac laptop. And we are simply going to paste the locator that we've copied. And we want to ensure that the locator is unique to that field alone. And right here, you can see saying 1 of 1. And I'm pretty sure we're going to find locators that will say 1 of 2 or 1 of 50 or anything like that. So in that case, those kind of locators are not unique and you cannot use them. And so now that I've picked up the locator and I want to find it by name, all I need to do is to go into IntelliJ. And as we've always done, we're going to be typing driver dot find element, the singular, by dot name. And then I need to put my semicolon, my double quote, sorry, I need to put my double quote and paste the locator that I've just copied in between the semicolon. Then after the bracket, I'll do a dot send keys because I want to be sending, I want to tell Chrome driver to fill in a value for me into the field. So it needs to be an email address, a valid email address, by the way, because we are doing a positive scenario in this case. We're not doing a negative scenario. So it's going to be a valid email I need to fill in. So sweet, I've done the one for the email. Now I need to do the IT. Same thing like I've done. I need to go back to my page, click on the select icon again, find the locator or the HTML attributes for the IT field. And this time around, I want to get the locator by XPath. And to get the locator by XPath, all I need to do is to right click on copy, click on XPath. Like I said previously, the XPath needs to be the absolute XPath, I believe. I think that's what I said. Yeah, I think that's what I said. It needs to be the absolute XPath, not the one that starts with HTML. So the other one. So I'm going to paste it in here, and I can see it doesn't start with /HTML/body/ blah, blah, blah. So this is the correct XPath that we have here. And it's obviously 1 of 1 as well. So that means I can use it. So all I need to do is to go back into IntelliJ. And I enter my IT. So that's going to be driver.findElement by XPath. Paste my XPath in there. And it's obviously a field. So I'm going to be sending in a value. And I'm just going to put 160. And so before we go on to, I think the next part is, are you vegan or vegetarian? But before we go on to do that, I'm going to run the test up onto the IT. So it's going to run everything up onto the IT for me. So I see if all these other fields are going to get filled up with the value that are specified in my IntelliJ. So I'm going to rebuild project. And once that's done rebuilding, I'm then going to run the inquiry page feature file. Okay, that's done. Run. Does anyone have any questions so far while we're waiting for Chrome browser to open up?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I just wanted to ask, what inform what to use to get your element out?
Sorry, could you come again?
What inform what to use, I mean, to get your element? I think why would you use name and sometimes use expert?
Oh,
Sometimes.
right. Okay. I get your question now. Well, I think it just depends on preference, to be honest.
Or should I assume it's
Example,
based on experience
sorry?
to be seen over time?
So what did you say last?
Could it be because of your own experience, as in your exposure to things this you've been doing for a while?
So
You can see
sincerely,
the elements and decide to use expert and decide to use something else.
so I think it just depends on preference, but and also what is being used at your own workplace as well. So mostly in my workplace, it's up to you what you want to use. But the ones that I've seen myself and my colleague use is either XPath or ID. And we rarely use the name locator. I think it just depends on like your preference, like I said. You can decide to use XPath, you can decide to use name. So for the ones that I've used ID for, instead of using ID in that place, I can use XPath, it's still going to work. I can use name locator, is still going to work. As far as what I'm trying to test is working, it doesn't really matter what locator you're using as far as the value is going to be filled in, or your value is going to be extracted, or your options, your drop down is going to get ticked or selected. So it doesn't really matter what you're using. It just depends on your preference. So I'm just using the different locators in this training class so you know that it's not just XPath that we have, that there are other different types as well. So I think in the resource that I sent, if you click on the locator link that is there, there are different XPath. There is, let me see if I can quickly open it up. It's locators. I'm just going to open it up here. Yeah. So like I said, there's an ID, there's a name, there's a class name, link text, partial link text, tag name, CSS selector, XPath as well. And if you look down here, you can obviously see how or what the syntax is like. So for the ID, I know we've used the ID, we've used the name, we've used XPath as well. We've not used CSS selector just yet. But this is basically like the syntax they are going to be using in your IntelliJ as well. So you can obviously go through the link. And like I really admire this lambdatest.com website because it's got like up-to-date information. They've even got like little videos that you can obviously watch that obviously improve your knowledge on how to locate XPath or what sort of XPath to use. So you can just watch them within your own spare time for your own knowledge. And it's really good for you to go through the links on the PDF document as well, because most of them are from like this particular lambdatest.com website, and it's got up-to-date information. So just to answer your question, it depends on preference, to be honest. As far as whatever you're trying to tell Chrome Driver today is working fine, doesn't really matter what you're using, unless a company then says, oh, we only use XPath, then you only have to use XPath in your code. So that's just it. I hope that answers the question. I'm going to take that as a yes. Right. So I have run the test and it's filled in my first name, my last name, my email address, and my height. And next up, we need to move on to telling Chrome Driver to select an option for us if I'm vegan or vegetarian. And how do we do that? So when it comes to drop down, like I said, we need to use what we call the select package. So the select method is like part of the Selenium package that is sort of already incorporated in Selenium. So in order to do that, all we need to do is, instead of saying driver defined at the start, we need to first of all, we come down here. So we need to first of all declare some sort of, what's the name of, what's this keyword? Constructor. So we need to declare some sort of constructor. And how do we do that? So we just do new select. You can see me typing select is already coming up on the drop-down list for me. And the select I'm going to be picking is one that says openqa.selenium.support.ui. So all I need to do is just click on that one. And in the bracket, this is where I then do my driver.find element. So that's going to be driver.find element by. Right, so we've not gotten the locator just yet. So let's go back into our website, and we need to inspect the drop down for the question, are you vegan or vegetarian? Inspect. Pick up the select icon here. And come on. So pick up the select icon, and I need to go to the drop down. It's just taking a while to load properly. Just going to wait. Okay, amazing. So you can see that this part is already highlighted in blue. And one other thing you need to take note of is it has the select HTML tag. So it has got a select HTML tag at the beginning. And you can see the other ones are having either div, the divider, or form, or script, or anything like that. But you can see for this specific one, it's got the select. So when you see the select tag in your HTML code, you should always know that that is going to be a drop down. And in order for you to tell Chrome Driver what to do for those kind of sections on your page, you need to tell it to select, and you need to be using the select method. But there are some drop downs that you see that they have the div, like the divider, the divider div instead of select. But so in that case, the way you're going to approach it is going to be a bit different. You will not be using the select method in your code. In that case, what you need to do is to locate the element for that drop down. Then you do a driver.find element, you paste your locator there, then you do a dot click. So once you do a dot click, you will then tell Chrome Driver to go and click the value that you want on the list as well. But in our case here, we have the select HTML tag at the beginning. So we're going to be using the select method inside our code. So I need to get the expert for this one, the locator expert for this. Copy expert. I go back into my code, and I've sort of started already. So I want to find by XPath. Pasted it. Right. So let us go and check the values that we have on the drop-down list. So there are two different values. So it's either a yes or no. And for the select method again, there's something else you need to take note of. So if I go back into my code and I do a dot, you can see for the select is giving me different values. There is select by visible text, select by index, there is select by value, there is even deselect. So if you want to deselect a value, deselect an option, you can always use the deselect method. So there are different options under the select method that you can use when you're dealing with drop downs. So I'm going to send, I think I've sort of added the link into the PDF document, but if I've not, I'm going to send it into the group. So this is also another resource that you can read that deals with drop down and Selenium WebDriver with Java. So everything that has to do with the select method, examples of how you use select by visible text, select by index, select by value, and all the other things. They've got like the examples there for you to try out. And I know for a fact that selecting by index, so anything that has to do with index or arrays, So your drop downs are sort of considered as array values or array concepts. And for arrays, instead of your number starting from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the first value that you have in your array is going to start with a 0. So it's going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in this case, our first value is going to be 0 and our second value is going to be 1. So if I'm going to be using select by index and I want to tell ChromeDriver to select the no option for me, then the index I'm going to be putting down in my IntelliJ is going to be 1 and not 2. Because in normal numerical term, it's meant to be 1, 2. But in Java or in coding programming language, when you're dealing with drop-down values or arrays, the first value has the 0 number attached to it, not 1. So in this case, it's going to be 0, 1 and not 1, 2. So like I said, if I want ChromeDriver to select the no option for me, then the select by index needs to have the 1 value inside of it. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And another way that I can select is to also select by visible text. So visible text means how the word has been specified in the drop down. So as you can see for a fact, or you can see obviously here that it is yes. So I need to type yes exactly the way it is here. If it's a capital Y, in my code, it has to be capital Y, small letter ES. If they're all in caps lock, then that means that all the lectures I'm going to put in my code has to be all in caps lock as well, because the values have to match, because I'm selecting my visible text. Visible text means that the value I'm specifying in my code must match the value exactly the way it is in the drop down as well. So I'm going to try the 2 different options, and you can obviously read through the other select methods within your own spare time. So first off, I'm going to select no, because I'm not vegan, I'm not vegetarian. So in this case, it's going to be selecting index 1 for me. So how do I do that? I go back into my IntelliJ, and I already have the new select driver.find element by XPath. I've pasted my XPath there. I want to say select by index. So index in this case is going to be taking up integer values, not strings like before. So the values here in your send keys are strings because they have double quotes on them. But select by index is going to be taking an integer value. So I don't need to have double quotes on integer parameters. So I just, like I mentioned, since I'm picking the no option, then my index value is going to be 1. So now that that has been done, all I need to do now is to run my test again, and let's see if the no option is going to be selected. And I also want you to take note of something else. You can see that every time we run the test, a new Chrome browser instance is opened up. And if you run your test 5 times, it's going to be 5 Chrome drivers that will be down here. We are going to look into how you are going to close the instance of Chrome driver that opens up every time you run your test. So you don't have to be like manually closing them down by yourself. So I'm going to be looking into that towards the end of the step definition when we are dealing with the very last line. So I think that is done building, and I need to run. Yep. Amazing. So you can see it selected no for me because the default value is yes. So we're going to try selecting using a different select method. So I said select by visible text. So I'm just going to duplicate this line here. So if you want to duplicate any line, you just click on the line that you want to duplicate, and then you do a Control D. I believe it's a Control D on Windows, because on Mac it's Command D if you want to duplicate any line. So I'm going to comment out the first one. And if you want to comment, you do a Control question mark to comment. And if you're on a Mac, you do Command question mark, or you can just put 2 slashes in front. Or you can use the shortcut by doing Control question mark. So those are the little shortcuts that are available in IntelliJ. There are many more as well. So I mentioned that we want to use select by visible text, and this is a string. So this is taking a string value. So that means I need to use double quotes, and exactly the way the no has been typed here is what I want to type: capital N, small letter O. So going back into my IntelliJ, I'm just going to put no, and I'm going to rebuild again now and try to run my test. Damdala, I've got your hand up.
I'm just wondering, I can't find select by on my.
Sorry?
I cannot find select by on my code. I was wondering what happened.
Did you use new select?
No, not at the end. Select by index.
You can't find it on your own.
When you press dot, it was supposed to come out, but it's not coming out.
Did you scroll down the list?
Yes.
Okay, can I have a look later?
That's fine.
Yep. So it picked up select by visible text. It picked up the no value for me. And let me show you something else. So if I type capital N and capital O for my no, I'm going to expect this test to fail, because the no that I've typed here is different from the no that is on the page. So it is obviously case sensitive. So if I run this now, let's see what happens. Emmanuel, you've got your hand up. I'm just going to close the other Chromes I've got opened.
Yes. Can I go on, please?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to ask, since I missed the part of where you replaced no with 1 on the select by index. So I think I missed why 1 represents no.
Yeah, so I was saying that in programming language, we have, so in numerical terms, your numbers are meant to start from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But in programming language, when we are dealing with either drop downs or array concepts, so drop downs are also considered array concepts, because when you're writing your code, you write them in an array manner. So the developers obviously write them in an array manner. So for arrays or for drop downs, your first value, that drop down is going to take the no.
0.
Exactly, it's going to take 0, yes, and then the next one is going to take 1. In this case, we have yes, no, so it's going to be 0, 1, not 1, 2. So that's why our no is taking the 1 index.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So like I mentioned, this is going to fail because I did not use the exact same text as the one on the drop down. So you can see it says, so the way you read your error messages, it's going to tell you what exactly is happening. It already told me step failed, number 1. It's already told me that I cannot locate option with text no, because the no that I have here doesn't match the one on the page. And then if you actually want to find out where your code has failed again, because I'm going to be asking if anybody's code is failing, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be asking what line is it failing on? And this is how you find out the line. In your feature file, you can already see it's already highlighted. If I click on it, it's going to take me straight into my feature file, and it's going to tell me the exact step that it is filling on. And as expected, because we are dealing with the vegan or vegetarian option, it is filling on the step that says, and I select the right vegan option. And in my step definition, it's going to take me to that step definition for my the step that is filling in my feature file. So it's taking me straight to the exact line, to the exact spot. It is filling after, so it's been able to locate the element, but it's filling on this part that says dot select by visible text. And we obviously know it's expected because I intentionally put the wrong lettering in here. So that's why it is failing. But if I change it to the right one, which is meant to be a small letter 0, small letter O, then my test is going to pass. So if I click on rebuild project again, and then I run it, then my test is going to be passing now. You can run. Amazing. It's already ticked. And if I come here, you can see 1 test pass, 15 step passed, even though I've not filled in the code for the rest, but yeah, it's still gonna pass. Now, I'm pretty sure we've been able to understand how we undo drop downs that involve using the select method now. And I'm going to move on to, let me see the web page again, so I can see which ones I can do together. So I would be doing 1, 2, 3. I'm going to be doing where are you located, the career change, how long you've been searching for career change, and also the hobbies and interests all together. And that is because we've done fields before, we've done the drop down today. So I'm going to be doing the 3 of them together quickly because we don't have time on our side anymore. Right. So as usual, I've clicked on inspect, clicked on the select icon. Then I'm going to go to the location field. Where are you located? And in this case, I'm going to be using the XPath again for this one. So I'm just going to right click on this, click on copy, click on XPath, go back into my IntelliJ, and then all I need to do is driver.find element by XPath, paste it there. Since it's a field, it's going to be send keys. And I'm going to put where I'm located, the UK. Amazing. So now we want to select the right option for the career change question. And this involves drop down. So what I'm going to do first is to look at the options that are available. Okay, options available. So we've got this one. So I'm going to pick 6 months to 1 year. So because we have used select by, we've currently used select by visible text here. So for this next drop down, I'm going to use select by index. So can someone tell me? So I'm going to test everybody now. Where is that page? So assuming I want to pick 2 to 3 years and I want to use select by index, what's my index value going to be? I want everybody to put in the chat box, please. I don't want everybody to say it out. Just put in the chat box. I'll open the chat box. So my question is, I want to select 2 to 3 years. What is my select by index value going to be? Someone said 3. Somebody else said 3. So everybody's saying 3, 0, 1, 2. Okay, that's correct. Good. So I'm going to be using 3. But in this case, I want to pick 6 months to 1 year. I can pick 1 to 2 years actually. So that's going to be 2 for my index value. Good. So what I need to do again is to get the locator for that one. And I'm going to be using, let's see what I can use. Let me use ID. So I'm going to pick up the ID. Amazing. So this is a case where, when I say always check your locator before you use it, you can see it's showing me 1 of 3. And that's because the ID here, the ID that I've picked up is not entirely used fully in other parts, but it's partially used in other parts. So you can see the ID here has got part of the ID value that I've pasted here. So it's showing me 1 of 3. And it's also showing me down here as well. And then it's also showing me where I actually need it. So in this case, I'm not going to use the ID. There's a way you can still use this ID, but you have to sort of modify it. And I don't want to confuse everybody on the call just yet. So I'm going to pick a different locator. I'm going to be using, let me see for name. Let me see what name is going to give me. If I want to pick that as my locator. Okay, this is showing me 1 of 1. So that means I can use the locator name, the name locator instead of the ID. So let me pick that up. And my index, I said my index is what? 0, 1, 2. It's 2 for 1 to 2 years. 1 to 2 years, yeah. So if I go back into my IntelliJ and I go to, let me just push this one down. And I come here, that's driver, find elements by name is what we are using. And oh, I made a mistake. I'm doing a select. So it's meant to be new select. Yeah. So I'm gonna give this back the bracket. Dot select by index, and my index is 2. Okay. So that is that one. And I also want to fill out the interest and the hobbies field. So how does that look like? So that's just like a blank, it's still a field, it's just a bit enlarged. So just like the one for the UK as well, this one is just a bit enlarged, just in case I want to type all my interests and hobbies there. So I'm going to inspect again, inspect the field, and let's see if this ID is unique. Let's see if this ID is unique. Pick that up. I'm going to paste it here. So this is also 1 of 3. So I'm not going to use that. Since it's showing me 1 of 3, let me just pick the XPath instead. IntelliJ. So that's going to be driver dot find element by XPath dot send keys, because it's a field, and I can type as many things as I want to. I can type reading, shopping, traveling, and teaching. Right. Okay. So we've done the location, career chain question, hobbies and interests, and I said I want us to run the test after then. So I'm going to rebuild. Let me close down all of these ones. And let me now run the test. So let's see what happens. Oh yeah, Ugochi, sorry, I saw your hand up. I wanted to first finish up what I was doing. Do you want to ask a question?
Yes, Aibo. I think that will be later.
Okay.
I'll talk soon.
Nice. So we can obviously see selected no, selected field in UK, selected 1 to 2 years, and it also filled in exactly the hobbies and the interests that I have typed in my code. Is obviously filled it in here for me as well. So exactly what you type in your code in terms of field wise, if you are trying to fill in a value into a field, is what is going to be typed by Chrome driver in your website or the page that you're trying to test or anything like that. So you just need to take note of that. So assuming you wanted a capital R and it's showing as small, that means you obviously typed in a small r in your code. I need to go back into your code to fix that. So, right. So now that we've done that, we're going to be looking into the radio buttons and then the checkbox. And this is also pretty much easy. I've seen a couple of people already, they've done this within their code. So we should obviously breeze through this quickly. Just a minute. Right. So we want to select, so for radio buttons, we can only select one value because it's a radio button. That's what radio buttons do. For checkbox, we can select more than one value. So we're going to be selecting 3 values for our checkbox for career progression, but course choice or choice of course, we'll be selecting just 1 value. So I'm gonna try, I'll do this. Let me take you one step at a time. Let me do the radio button first of all. So for course choice, we are going to be selecting the software testing one. So let's see how that is done. So as usual, so there are some things you need to take note of when you're dealing with radio buttons as well, or checkboxes. So there are some radio buttons and checkbox that you would need to click on the radio button before they are selected. And you may click on the word themselves and they would not select the radio button for you. But in our case here, if you select the wordings themselves or you select the checkbox, if you select the radio box or the radio button, it's going to get clicked on. So we can either get the locator for the name itself of the option, or we get a radio button for the checkbox itself. And we know that if we tell Chrome driver to either click on the name or the checkbox, it's going to get clicked on, and that's not going to be an issue. So let us inspect. Okay. So we want to select software testing. Software testing. Sorry, still loading. Let's just wait. Okay, so that's already up. Right. So it's giving us, you can see it also has software testing here. So that means this is for the software testing wording option itself. But if you want to pick the radio button, it's got its own different HTML code. If I go up a bit, you can see it's selecting the radio button for me. So if you see the radio button itself, you can see it's highlighted in blue and orange. But if I go back down and I go to the HTML code for the software testing option, you can see it's been highlighted in blue. And that's the one I want to click on. I want to click on the software testing option. I don't want to click on the radio button. So now that I've gotten the locator for the software testing option, all I need to do is to get the XPath for that. And as usual, right click, copy XPath. And I'm going to check that this XPath is unique. So this is giving me 1 of 1. So I then go back into my IntelliJ, go back to, and I select my course choice. So who's going to tell me what action I need to tell Chrome Driver to perform?
The click.
Sorry?
I think it's click.
Sorry, I can't hear you clearly.
Is it click?
Yes, it's going to be dot click
Okay.
because it's not filling in any value. It's just clicking on something for me. So I want it to click. Amazing. So now I have the career progression. I'm going to do the same thing. And in this case, I want to click on 3 different checkboxes. I'm going to click on software testing. I'm going to click on business analyst. I'm going to click on project manager. So what I need to do now is to get the locators for those 3 options that I want to click on. Maybe when you're doing your own, you can decide to click on SAP option. You can decide to click on Scrum Master. You can decide to click on software testing. You can decide to even tick everything else when you're writing your own code. You can decide to tick 2 or tick 1 or tick a different option than I've done here, so that you obviously try other things, other options out yourself, and you see what the outcome also is. And I believe the outcome should be the same. So I'm going to get my locator. Sorry, I'm going to get my select icon, and I'm going to go to business analyst, and I'm going to get the XPath for that one. Copy XPath, check that it is unique. Sweet. So now I'm going to do driver.find element by XPath dot click. So I mentioned I'm going to be ticking 3 checkboxes. So instead of me having to write it multiple times, I'm just going to duplicate this one. And I'm going to delete the XPath I've copied, because the XPath I've currently copied here is for the business analysis. And the other XPath that I need is for software testing, number 1. I'm going to get that one. Software testing XPath. Check that it is unique. Go back into my IntelliJ and I just paste it. So instead of having to say driver.find element all over again, I've just duplicated the first one and I've just deleted the XPath in it and filled it with the correct one. And for the third option that I want to click on, project manager, pick up the select locator again, project manager, right click, copy, XPath, paste it here, 1 of 1, amazing. Go back into IntelliJ and just paste it here. So I've done the career choice, course choice, and career progression. So let's get that running just to see what's going to happen. Ola, you've got your hand up. You can go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to confirm, did you actually click on the value or the checkbox and the radio button?
I clicked on the value itself.
Okay, what if the values are not clickable or not responding into the checkbox? Will it be on the checkbox or radio button?
I already answered the question. You need to get the locator for the radio button or the checkbox then.
Read that way.
Yeah. Okay, let's run. I don't think I've run it yet. Run. Okay, good. I selected software testing, selected business analyst, software testing again, and project manager, which are the locators that I got when I was getting the locators from the HTML DOM. Sweet. So now the next thing we're going to look at is, so we're going to do everything up until submit. Then if anybody has got any questions, then we take it from there. So we have what day best works. What day works best for you? So I'm going to pick Monday, Friday, and Wednesday. Or Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's what I'm going to pick. And like I've tested it out, clicking on the values, I'm able to tick the boxes. So let's give that a go. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The same thing like I've done for the previous checkbox options. Right click, inspect, and pick up the select icon. I'm just going to let all the other things load properly so it doesn't slow me down. Okay. And I'm going to go to Monday. Monday. Oh, sorry. It's moving around. Monday. Amazing. So Monday, I'm going to get the XPath. And it's a checkbox. So it's going to be clicking on it for me. So that's going to be driver. Just find element by XPath. Click. Sweet. So this is for Monday. I need to do for Wednesday and Friday. And like I mentioned, I'm just going to duplicate this once. And I'm going to delete the value for the XPath for Wednesday and Friday. And I need to get the locators or the XPath for those ones myself. So let's do that now. So for Wednesday, so Wednesday is here. You can see Wednesday, get XPath. Okay, let me just double check that is unique. 1 of 1. Go back into my code, paste it there. Same for Friday. Get the one for Friday. Friday. XPath. Paste it here. And then I need to go back into my code. Find element by XPath dot click. Amazing. So now I want to select the time that works best for me. So I'm going to pick evening. And evening, it's a radio button, so I can only select one value. And the same goes for favorite music as well. I can only select one value because it's radio button, so I'm going to go with Afrobeat. So select icon again, click on evening, and I'm going to get the locator for this one, the XPath locator actually. Go back into my IntelliJ code, and I select the time. So the time driver dot find element by XPath dot click. And for the favorite music as well, I need to get a locator for Afrobeat. Copy XPath. Gonna check that it's unique. So this is unique. Go back into my code. And I select my favorite music. Click. Amazing. So before I do the submit button, I want to ensure that all the values I've specified in my code is getting filled in or selected on. So let us run the test now. Damilola, you've got your hand up.
Do you have to click on what you want before you select, or you're just doing an example?
Sorry?
Do you have to click on what you want to select, or you are just doing example? Meaning that you already click Monday, Friday before we go to the source code. Do you get what I'm saying? Hello? Hello? Hello?
His question is,
Oh, yeah, sorry.
do you have to
It's my
select
internet.
the options?
Okay, do you want to repeat your question again?
Do you have to select on the screen before you go to the source code to copy the expert? You have to do that selection. For example, where your cursor is now, you already selected.
Yes.
You have to select that.
Yes, you need to do that.
Or
Or
you did not
you
do
can
that. You
always
did not do that when you were doing your career progression and your course.
You mean I didn't click on the select icon?
No, maybe I think you didn't get it. These are selected. Wednesday, all these Monday, Friday, Wednesday are already selected. Now
Yeah.
you now went to the source code to now know.
Oh, right. Oh, you
You
don't
get
have
what I'm
to
saying?
do that. You don't have to do that.
Okay.
You don't have to. So, sorry about the confusion. I'm just gonna inspect. You don't have to do that. So you're still gonna get the value for even if you don't select on it. And the same also goes for like Saturday as well. You still get the locators, so you don't have to do that. So I'm just going to review the project. And I will run. But there are times that your test may fail at the very beginning where it is trying to enlarge the Chrome browser to your screen resolution. So it could be a case of maybe your system is a bit slow and the enlargement is taking a bit of time. So in that case, you may want to implement like a wait technique. So you're basically telling Chrome driver to wait for maybe like 5 seconds or 10 seconds before filling in the first name field, because once you enlarge the screen, it's just going to, so once you enlarge the screen, it's going to click on the cookie button. So you just tell Chrome driver to wait for maybe 5 seconds or 10 seconds to allow it to enlarge fully before it then clicks on the cookie button. So there are different types of weights you can use in that case. There's the implicit weight and the explicit weight. So I think I added the link for that one as well in the PDF document. I know I definitely did. So you can obviously read ahead of that before the next training class, because I would be using it then. Implicit and explicit weight. So one of them basically is just waiting for the time that you've specified before moving on, while the other one is waiting for an element to be present on the page before moving on. So that's the difference between the two weights, the implicit and the explicit weights. So we're going to look into that next week. No, maybe tomorrow, actually. We'll look into that tomorrow. So we have run the test and it's obviously selected all the values for us, filled everything in. So the next thing we needed to do is to click on the submit button for us. So as usual, I'm just going to right click, inspect, and get a locator for the submit button. Let's wait. We're just waiting. Submit. Okay. So for the submit, let us pick by name. We can do name. We can do ID. Let's do name. So it's giving me one match. Let's check the ID as well. How many matches? Oh, one match. So let's pick up ID. So pick up ID. Back to our code. When I click the submit button, ID. Dot click. Maybe a project. Then run. And fill out everything. Yay. So we have a last step. Then the form is submitted. So this is where assertion comes in. So I'm basically going to assert that where's the page? So we're going to assert or validate. So assertion is basically dealing with validation. That's basically what assertion is. So I sent a resource link for assertion as well. So you can obviously have a look on the PDF document. We're going to be looking into assertion tomorrow. So assertion is basically validating that what we expect on the page is actually there, or the wordings that we're trying to validate on the page is actually there. So there are different types of assertions. There is assert equals, assert true, assert false, assert not null, and there are different places that you use the different assertions as well, so that it actually makes sense. So the resource I sent explains all the assertions, when you're meant to use them, and how you're meant to use them as well. So I think tomorrow we'll be looking into two assertions, assert true and assert equals. So assert equals is going to be comparing expected and actual, and assert true is going to validate that this box or this wording is on the page. So it basically means that it is present. So if you want to read ahead of the class tomorrow, you can obviously look at the assertion link in the PDF document, so that when you come into the class, you understand what I'm saying, you ask your questions as well. But this is just an example or the basics of automation testing, to be honest. But we still need to look into the page object, which is where we move all of our locators from our step definition into a separate file. because there could be a case where your submit button or your submit locator here is used like 5 different places if the locator is the same on the website. So maybe there are like 5 submit buttons and there isn't the same locator. You don't want to be writing this 5 times in your step definition when you can just have it in one place in your page object. And if anything has changed in the locator as well, that means if you have it 5 times in your step definition, you need to go and be looking for it in the 5 different places, when you can just change it in one place and it gets automatically affected in wherever you're going to be using that locator. So that's what page object is all about. Page object is, page object. That's what page object is all about. So we're going to be moving our locators into our page object. Then we also have hooks as well that we're going to look at. And yeah. So I don't know if anybody has got any questions. In today's class, we have 20 minutes left. Any questions?
Hi, Oyin.
Hello.
Yes, sorry, this is Moses. So I couldn't get the last information. I just want to find out when you were doing a page object module. I've been searching for some solution in my page object. I'm not part of the interest, but I'm just trying to learn more.
Okay.
So I just trying to look for solution for my page object module. So I just want to know when that will be.
I think it depends on how tomorrow goes. So if I'm going to be having to resolve issues tomorrow, then it will probably be next week, Wednesday, for page object. I think page object is definitely next week, Wednesday, because it's like I know it's going to take me a while. It's going to take the class a while to understand. I'm going to get questions. Why are we moving our codes and everything like that? So I want to do it in one single class and not split it. So it's going to be next week, Wednesday. Page object next week, Wednesday.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
you're welcome. Any questions? None? If you don't have any questions, I'll just give us 18-minute back and I will see us tomorrow. Oh, I was going to say something else, sorry. So I'm going to encourage everybody to start sort of automating the, I believe they're called PBIs or features that you have on your Azure board. So you can sort of start automating the simple steps that are there. One of them would be registration or login. So you can create a separate project, or you can use the same project we've created, just to create a new feature file. You create step definitions for it as well. Then you can start inspecting the elements, moving them into your step definitions, specifying the actions and all of those things. So if you are a bit confused on what you're meant to do, you can reach out in the Guild group chat. Or if you've tried it and you want to show me or show the class, you can also message me in the Guild group chat as well, and we'll have a look together. And Ajayi, you've got your hand up.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm working on one project. Before I started on the IntelliJ, I've worked on it with Visual Studio using C#. So most of the element there, I had to use weight for it to work. So on IntelliJ, because most of the element I have to customize it on my own, and it work on the Visual Studio, but on the IntelliJ it's not working. I don't know why. So that's why I'm asking if there is any work around it.
What sort of locators are you using in the C#? Is it XPath? Is it ID?
Export.
Right. Can you inspect the element again and get the XPath and use them in IntelliJ instead of copying from C#?
No, I'm not copying from the C#. I had to inspect it separately.
So it's still not working.
And it's still not working.
So have you tried the customized one that you did in your
Yeah,
IntelliJ?
I tried both, and I even use a selector hub, and it's not working as well.
Right. So what error are you getting? Is it that element is not interactable or
Yeah, element not interactable. That's the error.
okay, have you tried using like an implicit weight?
No, I just use weight. I have a weight class.
Yeah, I think that's the same one. Yeah. So is that still not working?
It's not working with it.
Are you one of the interns?
No.
Yeah, you can send me a message. We'll look at it tomorrow.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Welcome. Do we have any other question?
Can you please go to the interface where we did for click? I just want to look at something there. Sorry.
Which one? Is it the web page?
No, where we did driver.find whatever for click.
For click.
Yes.
They are clicking on a lot of things on the page. So where exactly do you want me to move to? Is it the
Where we select our choice of course.
this
Okay.
one?
Yes. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions or explanation that you need?
Hi, Oni.
Hi.
Yeah, Oni, please, can you move up a bit to where we started from tonight, like the vegan option, just here on the IntelliJ.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you for tonight. Why is it that sometimes you have to click on rebuild before your code could be able to run?
I actually have no idea. My work laptop, I don't have to do that. When I'm using IntelliJ on my personal laptop, I have to do that, and I don't know why.
All right.
I sincerely don't know why, to be honest. Because I thought that it was maybe because I was using an older version of IntelliJ, but you guys seem to be having the same issue as well. So I don't have an explanation for
Although it doesn't happen every time, but sometimes you will see that when you're writing the code, there's no error. When you now run it immediately, it won't answer you. By the time you now rebuild, it will answer. Same thing, you didn't do anything. But sometimes you don't have to do rebuild. You just run and it just go.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Just weird.
Also on the code, what was supposed to happen at the last statement? The form is submitted. We did not do that tonight.
Yeah, I said it's a session, so we'll do that.
Assertion.
tomorrow. Yeah,
Okay, I get it. Thank you.
no problem. Any question from anyone else? None. We'll call you a night then. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you all tomorrow.
All right, thank you. Good night.
Bye.